You can promote events. And so the beauty of Facebook is you could actually go into your business page on the event section and set up and say, I'm going to do a live Facebook stream in about 2 hours or at 10 p.m. the next day, and build up and hype up what you're getting ready to do on your live video. All right? Your visibility is the number one thing you're trying to do with your live video. Is you're gaining attention, and gaining attention leads to engagement. Simple learning curve. No tech skills required. How many like that? How many of you have been told, no tech required? Sure, Hurdie, I've heard that before. Now, how do I do that? Because that's normal, right? Yes, there's a little bit of tech because you have to learn how to use the app. But from compared to what it used to be, where we had a guy sitting down in a server in a building, and we had to switch our sports radio show over to a manual server switch and then spread it out over audio and then waited for it to buffer and waited for us to get disconnected, which was common. It's pretty simple today. You also will build following and keep followers engaged. The whole point, in my opinion, of the social network for business is you want to build quality followers. You want to build influencers. You want to build people that actually engage with you. I know a lot of people that have millions of followers, but they don't engage very well. So you can, with live video for your business, let me show you. See if I can get this. Yeah, all right. So when you have the ability to touch people, I walked my dog about 3 weeks ago and turned on my Facebook Live and just watched my Aussie trail around the park. I had like 631 people watch that. And I went, you're out of your mind. But that is kind of what it does. It's user-generated type of content, so it really does help people get to know you, which is kind of cool. All right, so here's some ideas. And I know he's got a camera back here, and I'm trying to stay within the scope of this. So here's some ideas for a live video for your business. How many of you know your top 5 questions that people ask you about your business? And can you answer them? All right, so if I'm on Facebook and have a business page, or I'm on Twitter, or I'm on YouTube, you might want to address your top 5 questions that you're asked over and over and over. Because those are the things that people want to know about your business, all right? How about behind the scenes? How many of y'all have seen some of the news stations already? Fox, I think, is one I'm here local. If you follow them on Twitter, have seen some of the, on Facebook, have seen their behind the scenes stuff. They'll be talking about the weather. So if you have a business, why don't you tell us a little story about how you got started? Tell us a little bit about how it's evolved. It doesn't have to be long, but telling a story and doing some behind the scenes stuff is a really good idea for your business. Breaking news. Breaking news for you could be new product. Breaking news could be something cool that happened in your business, a customer, some breakthrough that you had, some light bulb moment. So you have breaking news. Everybody has breaking news for your business. The number 1 genre search for in YouTube is how-tos. DIY stuff, right? And how-tos are very important in demos. So you know what? Some of you are thinking, well, I'm never going to get on Facebook Live and point the camera at myself, right? But you can sure point it at the product that you're talking about and just talk over the phone toward it and talk a little bit about your product. And so you know what? It helps to put up sometimes your demos or your how-tos. Events. Jeff was just talking about that. I watched him this morning stand over in the brick room and put your Facebook Live on, and he talked about the events coming up. So he was broadcasting live out to his Facebook about the events coming up this week. Testimonials. Powerful. We're in a reputation management type of time right now with business. What better way to get people to like you than be standing next to one of your clients and having them brag about your business on a live video? And what a lot of people don't realize, as soon as that live video is over, it's now archived, so it's on demand, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. All right? How about just for fun? How many of y'all have a personal Facebook page? I bet everybody in here does. Do something for fun. I walk my dog, I show that occasionally. I might be sitting out by a park and show that. I might show a thunderstorm coming through if it's decent and shoot that. Or I was driving down the road to Dallas 3 weeks ago, and when we got between Hillsboro and going up to Dallas the back way, I just turned on Periscope and streamed the countryside, and people were like, "Oh, that's cool." And I'm going, "Oh my God, this is amazing." You can be that boring and have that many people watch. Pretty cool. All right, so weekly updates. If y'all are in a business that flows, if you have new information that's important to your client or your consumer, market changes, interest rates, things of that nature where it flows, it's really good to consider doing a weekly update. And I would recommend that you pick a day and a time that's consistent, because you want your clients and your audience to get used to certain times you do things. So if you do a weekly update, start presenting it at a certain time so people can begin to expect it. Okay? All right, so why should you use live video? Probably the most important part of this presentation. Your followers get to know you, and this is what's really great, whether they like you or not. In my case, some followers go, "Well, I don't know if I really want to get to know you," but they do follow me, all right? Engagement. I call this the instant on and the on demand. Because the live is actually live. But guess what? Most people, I have this old statement, give it to me when I want it, and then that's how I do it. So that's on demand. On demand means after it's over, people can watch it on their own time. A lot of people searching for stuff like Netflix, movies, all the movie channels, right? They're watching the content when they want it. So the beauty about being live is you get the live, but you also have the on-demand. Leads to sales. Now, let's be really careful here. Your whole point for being live is to gain that engagement and those followers. I would not get on and start selling. Guess what? Nobody wants to be sold anymore. They want to engage on your content and get to know you and then make a decision how they want to find you and relate to you. Your job is to meet them. And if you're not online doing anything, then it's going to be hard to meet people for your business, all right? Can you all see over here? Mm-hmm. Repurpose content's a big deal. There's some differences in how these social platforms work, but on Facebook, for instance, let's say you film something cool about your product live, and then about 3 weeks later, it's way down the news feed on your page, right? Well, one of the things you can do is go back and reshare that to the top of your page or feature that video. So you have the ability to repurpose that content once it's on your page, right? Social platforms highlight video. So why else would I want to do live video? Because every single social network is highlighting video right now. Jeff.
Sorry.
That's all right. And so what happens when they highlight the video is that means that you have a better chance of being found within the search mechanism. You have to remember, organic search is dropping off like a rock. These social networks like Google, Facebook have learned that the way to, you're fine, part of these festivals, the way that you get noticed now is through advertising on your social sites, right? But you can really help yourself by doing lots of video because the video is being highlighted by these social networks and social platforms. So do a lot of video. I tell people all the time, if you're on YouTube, do a lot of video. Stay very active on it. All right. Your business stands out. You can test new ideas. And video increases a longer stay time, or what we call in the industry a bounce rate. Right? A video is going to engage a lot longer than a piece of text is. People will scroll by it, whereas think of all the times you were going down, when you went logged on to Facebook, right? And you're going down that news feed and you stopped at a video. And by the way, silent videos, live videos, can be just as cool as talking because 85% of the videos watched on Facebook are silent. So come up with creative ways to shoot your product and silently. Tell a story, and that's the challenge. But it's fun. So be creative in your life. All right? Lots of information. We'll get to the fun stuff in a minute. All right. So this magazine right here, I remember when we were streaming. It's called the Streaming Media Source Guide. It's free if you guys are into that. But I remember when it was 2 pages. Now it's this big, thick book. And this guy I've been following, Troy Breyer. He is a writer for this magazine and says that all eyes were on Facebook Live, but the entire live streaming sector is ongoing explosive growth. You guys are at the very beginning of some monumental changes that we're going to see in this live streaming arena. And as bandwidth increases, as the phones get more sophisticated, which they're very sophisticated now, the idea that you guys are on the forefront of this and can help your business is a great asset right now. And this is where you need to start taking advantage of it, because the people that get into these things first generally get the biggest followings and stay within the tipping point, okay? All right, so user-generated content, we call it the UGC in our when we're talking about this, but it's what drives video. Okay, last time that you sat down and watched a long commercial. How many of you love commercials? Mm-hmm. Just love them. Well, if you're in the industry, yes, you're gonna, but then no problem, okay? But generally, the millennials and other folks kind of like the idea that individuals are creating their own user-generated content, right? It's authentic. It's people like to get to know the people they're dealing with. So about 88% of all searches is user-generated content, all right? Nielsen Consumer Index, I just pulled this, 92% consumers trust the USG or the UGS over traditional advertising. Now, it's not to say traditional advertising is not important. It just says what people prefer when they're watching, and this is what this live video thing does. Marketers don't ignore it, which is great. I put a link on here. I'm going to send Jeff this presentation. If you guys are on the email list, I'll send you this full presentation. You can click on that and see tons of different stats about how live video is working within your Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, whatever. All right. Traditional TV advertising either creates what? Think about it. Fear or crisis, right? If you don't take this medicine, you're in big trouble. If you don't drive this car, right? However, the user-generated content creates stories and engagement, which is what we're into today. People want to hear stories. They want to be engaged in your life. They want to get to know you. And so people like to refer to others they trust, and as my friend Danny Smith sitting in the back says, build the speed of trust. Trust is the most important thing. So when people get to know the business owner of your business and they see you communicating, it automatically builds a little bit of trust on the front end. Okay. Facebook Live is available. And I say that because they keep saying it's on everybody's phone, but I haven't looked in the circumstances where it's not. But it's available to do on your personal page, any pages you have connected to that, your business page, events page, and your group page. So any available pages you have on your smartphone, and I'm going to show you one in a minute, does that. So Facebook Live is available on both Android and Apple devices. I will tell you that on an Apple device, if you've never done a stream, the first time you click on the live video, there's a couple settings that Apple requires that Android doesn't have, and that is to access your camera and your microphone, and it may take you to the settings, whereas on Android it just says allow, okay? So just be aware that Apple makes you jump through a few more hoops on your iPhone when you're streaming live from your app. All right. going live. We'll skip that, but I'm going to show you guys something. In this presentation, there's tips for this. I'm not going to get into that today because I don't want to, but I am going to show you how to do it live. All right. So, how many of y'all have phone with you? How many of you have a business Facebook page? All right. Let's go to that page. How many of you streamed live on Facebook before? Okay, good. So Danny's doing it right now. Thank you very much. All right.
Is there a Wi-Fi to get on here?
It's up there.
Up in the corner.
Okay. T-Werx what?
T-Werx 2016 is
With a capital T.
right, capital T. T-Werx 2016, and then the access code. Can y'all read this from over here? It's the number 2. Capital, is that a capital A or just A, Z?
Yeah, it's just, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Okay. 2AZ HFW is the access code. If you need to get up and walk over and see it, that's fine. All right, so.
And that's on the guest network.
Right. So I'm on my Facebook page. And I'm going to my group page. I have a group of clients. And it's called the Business Support Center, so I'm just showing you. All right, and so what I'm going to do is hit status. On the Apple, I think it's published. Y'all with me? Go to your business page. And then click like you're going to write something. And when you click on, I'm sorry this is difficult on the phone. I realized this when I was doing this presentation that this was going to be a little hard to do, but I got screenshots for it, so I'll send those out. And then when you click on it, you should have something that has a live camera on it. Do y'all see that? And you have the ability to switch the camera from front to back in the top right hand corner. If you're on Android and Apple, it's the same thing. You can title this and then go live. So watch this. And it counts down. And so right now, hi everybody, I'm streaming this live. I'm at T-Werx Coworking doing a presentation today with all these people who are putting up with me. It's amazing. And we're trying our best to stay through some very fun information about how to stream live. And so there's my buddy Mike O'Neill. There's Jeff back there filming us, CEO, by the way. And then we're finished. All right, so that was streaming live on Facebook.
From your page?
From my page. So if you go to, if you guys want to find me, if you go to the Small Business Support Center, or first you need to add me as a friend, Hurdie Burk, which is my name up here. You can go find me and add me. You can add me and then I'll add you to my business, I'll invite you to my Business Support Center. Now I use that tool a lot on that to keep people updated on information, but that's how simple that is. And so what I tell people is, look, if you really want to dive into this, and I can only present so much of this up here today, you know, sit down with me, hire me. I'm pretty cheap, really. And I'll be happy to consult with you on all this, to go through all this so you learn how to use these tools better. Because there's lots of in-between stuff that experience brings to the table that a lot of people want to know and want help with. All right, so hang on. Here we go. So, Twitter and Periscope. Okay, this was a weird story. So how did this all start? Well, okay, so this company called Meerkat about 2 years ago came up with this live app, and they were using it on Twitter. But Twitter kind of went out and started their own app called Periscope. And Periscope looks like let me get to that screenshot. All right, so Periscope app is a standalone app that you can download. But what Twitter's done now is they've incorporated it inside the your Twitter app, so that you can stream straight from your Twitter app without having to go to Periscope. Although if you download Periscope, you can do the same thing through that app. Okay, so I'm going to really confuse you here. Download the Periscope app and use that to see whether people are streaming. But you can go straight to your Twitter account now. How many have a Twitter account? How many use it constantly? Okay. All right. So one of the things I'm not going to be able to show you today is doing the same thing I just did on Facebook. I can do that right now, but I'd rather you sit down with me and let me show you where that is, because it's a relatively new function. And some people don't even see it on their Twitter account, okay? Because you might have to use the Periscope app. There's some stuff going on with Twitter right now that I don't know why it's not on everybody's live. They say it is, but it's not, okay? So why do we want to use Twitter? Well, number one, it's a great news feed. If you have some breaking product news, and you have to remember that Google and Facebook don't really like each other right now for obvious reasons. So Google realizes that Twitter is a newsfeed type of site. And so the ability for Google to index Twitter fast, instant, means that something that happened can be indexed through the search mechanism fairly quickly, which is another good reason for you to be using live video, and then hashtag that if you want. I use hashtags quite a bit for certain events and things like
Streaming
Jeff's
is
doing.
live. I'm at T-Werx Coworking.
There we go. So he's watching me now. So I know I got one view, which is fairly awesome. But Twitter is great for breaking news and some of the things, events, and some of the things I talked about earlier. Again, this is all to build engagement, like, trust. Okay?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So Periscope is still relevant because everybody is screaming and hollering, Facebook Live! You know, I'm being honest.
Right.
And I love Periscope. I even wrote an ebook about how to use Periscope for authors. So I love it, but everybody's screaming Facebook Live. So I was just wondering.
Yeah, so I think there are two different platforms. I think that Facebook Live is awesome because it's a huge social network, right? But the ability that if you're in the news business or if you're in a business, Twitter has a different application for it. But my point is, it's relative. It can make a huge difference for you presenting yourself. What you don't understand is people think you're cutting edge when you're able to use the technology that they're going, wow, that guy's on the cutting edge, right? He does audio podcast, he does live streaming, and so you're right. They're two different applications.
Okay.
And I use it as a news feed. I use it as, hey, I just want to say hi today, good morning, whatever that may be. I'm just trying to engage my followers. But good question. All right, so a place for action and reaction. That's kind of the news thing, right? Like, for instance, y'all are very familiar with thunderstorms that roll through East Texas, right, and the Canton tornado. So you go in and do hashtag Canton tornado, or just Canton tornado on Twitter or Facebook, you're going to see a lot of the live video that was shot with people's cell phones sitting on the side of the interstate, sitting on the side of the road, and so you get an action and a reaction immediately. You can respond to tweets with the video. How cool is that? So some guy gets in your face. No, I'm kidding. Don't want to do that. Somebody says something and you maybe want to add a comment to that. Well, go on to the retweet it and then add a video comment to it, or go in and create a video about that subject matter because it got your intrigue up and you want to make sure that so that's a pretty cool thing to do. Share real-time events. Next time you're at an event, like we just did, just take the camera out and shoot it on and put it up, put instant hashtag, follow that hashtag over there we put up for Twitter. Promote and educate. Just like you said. you educate it with an ebook or some sort of book and told them about it on Periscope and then let people find that book. So that's a great way to get information on. Product intro, and by the way, no selling. Why? Nothing wrong with selling. It's just when you're looking for people online, you got those millennials, right, that like to be, just meet me there. Meet me. Give me the information, let me decide. You know, isn't it cool that we can go into a store today, and let's say we needed 4 tires for our car, and so we go in and we get the price, and then we turn right around and type the tire spec in, and we find out where we can buy these cheaper? You know, well, you can do the same thing with video. Just shoot it and then pass it out and ask people if they have any suggestions or service companies where you can do something. Pretty cool idea. Important, use a hashtag in description. And I put an example like hashtag NASA. Because once people start following that hashtag, there's all sorts of news information within that hashtag, right? Without you having to go and search the whole world for that.
Hurdie,
Yes.
can you explain how that hashtag works? That's the one thing that confuses me about it.
It's really just, I look at it as a way to index in key information. So look at it as like a file system. You have a file folder, and you're looking for them, and so you have them labeled. If you didn't have them labeled, you couldn't find it. So you're saving yourself really quite a bit of time trying to follow a subject matter. So if you were following hashtag NASA, if you type that in, you're going to see a whole ton of information just related to NASA. Instead of you having to go look for the Apollo 13 rocket, you know, blow up or whatever happened in space, right? You could follow that whole subject. So a hashtag could be your product, your business, in my case, my name, you know, if I wanted to, but nobody, you have to use a hashtag on something somebody searches. I can't put hashtag Hurdie Burk because nobody knows Hurdie Burk outside of a couple people in Austin, right? And so somebody in California is not going to type in hashtag Hurdie Burk unless they stumble across me, right? So you need to make it relevant to a product or a service or something you're doing. Yes.
I was just going to say the Canton tornado is a great example.
Yeah,
Because
perfect.
if you type in just tornado, you're going to get all kinds of information.
Exactly.
The hashtag Canton tornado is going to give you real specific.
And exactly, and it brings up videos, news stories, anything that's been indexed by Google that's accumulated everything under that hashtag is going to be there. And it's a great way to research topic. That's how I do most of my research from Google and everything, because Google, I have tons of sites I have to follow and research. And so I type in certain hashtags through Google Works to keep me updated on changes that are going on within the marketplace, which is my job. And so I follow probably 60 hashtags related to Google.
Can you touch on just a second? You talked about streaming live events or videoing live events. What kind of issues do you come up with if you stream live events and all of a sudden you're capturing other people's faces and images and things of that nature?
Okay, so my rule is if you're in public domain, and we're not, that you probably should have Jeff, the CEO of this company, have a release form out here saying that you may be filmed in this event. So Jeff hopefully will put that up because Mike asked a good question, unless y'all are not that picky. If you're out in public walking the streets and you're filming something, it's called fair use. It's no problem. But if you walk up to somebody and stick the camera in their face and start interviewing them, you might want to get their permission and have something for them to sign. All right? So just be careful. And so, you know, Jeff, that's something to think about for this, is to have a release form.
Yep.
Okay.
Can't see anything on here.
Yep. So do I have permission to film y'all today?
Yes.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure. All right. All right. So YouTube. All right. So YouTube's a little different. Google's always been a little different. They're either way behind or they're way ahead. In this case, I would say that they're somewhat behind. But with that said, they do have a cool app. So if you're on your smartphone or Apple phone, you should go down and download the YouTube Live app. YouTube Live app. Just go ahead and download it. And why? Because here's some mind benders from YouTube. 400 hours of video is uploaded every minute. Every minute. 8,000 years of video is watched every day in the U.S. 8,000 years, every day. Think about that. Google is the second largest search engine, which is the most important point on this, on the internet. And there's over 1 billion monthly users. All right, so on the YouTube app, when you download it, you have the ability to record. It's not live. You have the ability to record. You have the ability to upload. And you have the ability to add a description. And immediately load it to your channel. However, you have to have a YouTube channel in order to do that. So one of my big niches in this market is I've always been a YouTube consultant to small, medium business. So if you have a small or medium business and need help with YouTube, I would love to help you guys with that, okay? Because if you want a channel, and believe me, you want to be able to post up to YouTube because it's the second largest search engine, which means Google favors both its searches inquiries for both, not only its AdWords, not only its organic, but also its YouTube videos, especially if it's how-to stuff, all right? All right, so I used to speak at Google Connect Partners Connection Groups. This was an extremely, I'm not going to call it a difficult presentation because I can't demo everything I want to from the cell phone today, but I covered a lot of information. The bottom line is you want to engage. You want to build followers, and you want to have the ability for your people to build some trust with them and to get your content out there. And I would say not meaningless content. I would really sit down and think about what you're going to talk about on your live. Don't script it, because you're going to have a hard time remembering what you script, and you're going to say a lot of ifs, ands, and buts. Just be yourself. All right. We're finished with my presentation. Please ask me some questions. You can ask me questions about Google. You can ask me questions about the live video, the Twitter, the YouTube. Yeah.
Okay, I got one. So you're talking about going to the app YouTube Live, right? So I look up YouTube Live, and I get all kinds of things that have live in YouTube, but I don't see an app that says YouTube Live.
Okay, so
What am I missing here?
I'll show you guys. I'm going to send you guys out the presentation if you want, and there's a certain icon on there that's white with an arrow, depending on the phone. But you need to look up. You can look up the YouTube Creator Academy, and I would just put in YouTube app. Just type in YouTube app, and let's see what Mike comes up with. You on an iPhone?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So YouTube app. So
Are you searching in
There it
app search or?
yeah, I did went to the app store. So it says YouTube Live Watch,
Yep.
watch, upload, and share. So that's
Click
what,
it.
with that little arrow. So I said yes. Okay.
Right. And
Awesome.
the hard thing about this was when I was looking on Google Images to try to capture some images of all this, some of them were really confusing and really different. So just know that when I get this presentation to you guys, I'll send this out. I'm going to add some stuff to it, like the actual icons and pictures. I want to be careful of the copyright because I am presenting this information out. But the YouTube app is great for recording, and as soon as you finish recording and you publish, you can put a title and description. If you feel inclined to go back and really fill in all the default settings on the YouTube, you can go back and add website links and things of this nature. But it's a great way to get information uploaded directly to the YouTube site immediately.
Do you put hashtags in that description?
You can, yeah,
Possible.
absolutely. Hashtags work anywhere. They're all a little differently indexed through the platform you're on. So Twitter kind of started all this, but you can hashtag on Facebook, Google, LinkedIn. Yes.
On your testimonials on live, when you're doing B2B, business to business, when they're going to would you give a plug out for their business also in that live?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You bet. I would go out of my way to have that camera pointed at them, even if you're standing behind it and you're asking them the questions, right? Or shoot the business, walk through it with them, pick one of their products, make them the hero. Yeah, Dan.
You can also go back after the fact, so you do a video live, you go back after the fact and edit and put the hashtags in there, right?
Yeah, so the beauty of the YouTube record is once I record one on my phone, then I go back into my desktop or laptop when I get home, re-log into my channel and go through the rest of the default settings like the descriptions, adding your website, adding the date that it was recorded, the location you were in, all that stuff's pertinent to the search. And those are default settings on YouTube that you have to fill out. And you also have to click, there's a little FCC rule that now says that this was not aired on TV, meaning that you weren't sitting at Fox News because you have to have closed caption. So you've got to go in and click some of these boxes to let Google know if it's pertinent content.
Instagram Live, talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, it's a little bit shorter. It works really similar to the Facebook deal, and it's hot. So I didn't talk about that today because I was kind of including that in the Facebook deal. So again, if you need help with these things, we could go through them all. There's tons of them. And you're going to see more of it. Snapchat, all these, WhatsApp, the Facebook Messenger app that has video already on it. You have Google Hangouts, which is a conferencing type of deal. I could go into all these, but I tell people if you really want to get to know this, you need to sit down with me one-on-one because that's the way you're going to learn how to do this. Anybody else? Yeah.
So I was thinking about your how-to videos that you were talking about doing online. Is it possible, because most of my customers are on Facebook primarily, so I was thinking about doing a how-to series on Facebook Live. Is it possible to then, I don't know, take that video and put it on YouTube?
No.
No? Okay.
That's the only drawback with Facebook is it's a closed platform. So whatever you're doing on your page, you can share within their platform. But it's better if you just go ahead and do the YouTube video on YouTube. Either unlist it or hide it if you want, or make it private and then share the link back to Facebook or upload it to Facebook too. What I do when I shoot a video for a client now is I upload it to YouTube. I also turn around and upload it to the Facebook platform because they're two separate video platforms with two separate search mechanisms.
Okay.
Anybody else? Wonderful. Will you help me stagger through this? I've learned a lot this morning speaking to you guys, and what I can improve on is how we probably need to do some more demos and maybe a workshop with that. So I'll work on that, but at least you got the information that's important, and get out there and do it, have some fun, experiment, and don't be scared. And if you get stuck, email me. Be happy to help you. Thanks, guys.